This is a Marshall Way footwork video. I'm going to do more than footwork. It's probably going to be a total movement drill. The footwork draws on footwork of many martial arts. I think I'll try to cover as many as I can. The space isn't very good in here. I'll see what I can do to give a good example. So, Marshall Way footwork, to be ranked into this training, you really need to have experience in many martial arts. Let's see. I'm going to do some boxing footwork, I have multiple styles of Jeet Kune Do footwork. I don't know if it's honest Jeet Kune Do footwork. It's what I learned in a Jeet Kune Do class. I'll do the stuff I learned straight from the book, and I'll do the stuff I learned in the class. Then I have some other basic footwork. I'm not going to hit too many stances. I'm going to try and keep it in the basic on guard sparring stance. So, some of the basics of footwork. There's some basic theories. There is move the foot that's closest to the direction you're moving in first. And then there's the opposite of that, where you can move the foot furthest from the direction you're moving in first. So I'm in more of my natural stance. I think I'm going to go ahead and hit more of a sparring stance. This is more of a Taekwondo, Jeet Kune Do, Karate sparring stance. And so here is moving the back foot first. And this is good for things like getting a natural duck, backwards duck of the head. Good for avoiding kicks and punches. You can go really deep into it and drop your level like you're gonna duck under a kick. There's just the step out and then the step back. You can lunge like this. The lunge is much more difficult than just the step. Back leg moving first. So then there's front leg moves first, moving back. And this is good for avoiding attacks to the front leg. And sometimes it's just what you do naturally. I have so many foot style stances, I just do stuff naturally. It's hard to know what I do and why. So then there's that. It's also good for mixing it up. If you're going back leg first a lot, then you can move to front leg first and confuse them. So here's front leg first. Moving. Here's some forward moving. Same basic things. It's front leg moves forward first. Then there's rear leg moves forward first. If you're experienced in the martial arts, you might start noticing these things look like attacks. So front leg moves first is good for planting in or moving in deep, or stuff like wrestling and stuff like that. You're getting lower, you're getting planted forward. It's good for throwing a big punch off that. Not good for a front or lead leg kick. So I tend to kick lead leg first. Then there's back leg moves first. Shortens the stance. You might get caught with your feet together. Talk about that a lot in wrestling. But it loads up the lead leg kick. So that's kind of nice. Some basic forward backward movement. And then there's some side to side. So there is so basic Jeet Kune Do out of the book teaches to move the foot to the side you're going to first. Excuse me. And to lean the head to get out of the way while you do it. And of course I work the hands up. I've caught a kick to the throat because the way I was doing it with the lean, so I was not keeping my hands in the appropriate block position. And I did one of these leaning movements and I caught a kick to the throat. Not too bad on me, I have a tough throat. But you should think about that before you use it, or you should think about keeping your guard up. So then there's a bit trickier, and it helps with rotation when you move the foot that is opposite the direction you're moving first. So I'm going to start getting into rotating. This is linear movement. I'm trying to do the straight forward, straight to the side stuff. Mixing it up now because I'm having a hard time keeping anything regular. Let me do that regular. So here's to the left. Foot moves, the outside foot moves first to the right. Right foot moves first to the left. Left foot moves first, excuse me, to the right. Right foot moves first. Here's to the left. Right foot moves first. To the right. Left foot moves first. Now I'll switch stance before I go on to some other stuff. So here's the switch stance. Here is rear leg goes backwards first. Front leg goes forward first. Front leg goes backward first. Back leg goes forward first. Left leg goes left first. Right leg goes right first. Right leg goes left first. Left leg goes right first. Hard to say. So here are some lunges. I showed the backwards lunge, and I did it trying to move the back leg first. So here's that again. Here is doing a backwards lunge where the front leg moves first. And this one is about trying to get that big leap off the front leg, getting all that momentum going towards the back. So here's front leg moves first, rear lunge. Okay, here's some forward lunging. I'm going to do front leg moves first. Here's back leg moves first. That one was a good one. How about the good one? That's a good one. Not too bad. Up to my space. Okay, here we're going to go with some turning movement to go with the linear movement. And I'm going to go with leg of the side you're moving to moves first. So here we go. Left leg turns 45 degrees first. Again, I'm going to do a circle. Left leg 45 degrees first. Left leg first 45 degrees. That was 90. Left leg first 45 degrees. Left leg first 45 degrees. Now I'm going to switch it the way I like to do when I'm just trying to get through this training and be systematic about what I'm doing. So I try to switch it up and go the opposite direction. Left leg goes right 45 degrees. 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 Now I'll go with the switch stance. And we're going to train the right leg moving first. I'll go right leg to the right 45 degrees. Right leg to the right 45. Right leg to the right 45 degrees. Right leg to the right 45 degrees. There's a circle. Right leg to the left 45 degrees. 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 So there are those back legs, the back leg moving first, as you could have seen. You can move the front leg first as well. It's a little strange. So I'll go front leg first, and it doesn't step out as much. It is to the right or to the left, and this way is really good for snapping off a back leg kick. Moving the back leg kick is good for snapping off a front leg kick. I'll show one of those. So here's back leg moves first while kicking with front leg. And I'll do it to the other side. Now I'll move the front leg first, and just straight away I'll show you front leg moves, back leg kicks. So I'll do front leg to the right, 45 degrees, back leg kicks. front leg to the right 45 degrees, front leg to the right 45 degrees. More like front foot and front leg. Front foot to the right 45 degrees. Really small movements for the front foot. Then to the left, I'll show it to the left with the kick. This is much harder on the body because of the tendencies of the forces during the movement. You're moving away from the kick you're going to throw most of the time when it's the back leg kick. So I'll do the back leg kick with the movement to the left. The kick comes out to the right because of the stance. So here we go. Right foot to the left 45 degrees with the kick. Pretty tough. I'll do it again. Right leg to the left 45 degrees with a kick. And I'll finish off without the kicks. Right leg to the left 45 degrees. Right leg to the left 45 degrees. To the right now. Right leg to the right 45 degrees. 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 It's really hard to keep up with all these different footwork movements. I forget if I've shown the other side with this style. I don't think I have, so switch stance. And just going to go through it without the kicks. Should understand the kicks by now. Here we go with rear leg. I did the rear leg. I'll just do it again. Rear leg to the left 45, 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 rear leg to the right 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 45, front foot to the left 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 45, front foot to the right 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 45. I'm not going to run you through all the possibilities. This video will go on a long time. So I'll just show some of the tougher marks to make. I'm trying to go half of the 45, having a hard time with the math in my head. It's easier to remember these things like a pattern on the ground, like points on a compass. So this would be like, I forget which direction, I'll just call it like I'm facing north. Instead of going all the way to west, you go to south, southwest, and that's half of 45. What's that, 22 and a half? So that's 22 and a half degrees, 22 and a half degrees, 22 and a half degrees, 22 and a half degrees. And it goes that way through all the movements I just did. And then you can go more, like 45 plus the 22 and a half. So that's 67 and a half, pretty tough, not too tough. And back, pretty easy when you just go one direction and back to get those marks right. And then there's the standard 90s, 90. What was that, 180? So it's 90, 45, 22 and a half, 180. My numbers are wrong, you get the point. You've seen the footwork. Tough drill, hard to call out, still working on it. So all the footwork around the circle works that way. There's the 360s. I like the 3/4 turn. The 3/4 turn would be the 180 plus the 90, and the 180 plus the 90, 270. And this one's tough. When you try to do it outside of a form, the 3/4 turn, you don't hear it called a lot. So a 3/4 turn. And then back is pretty simple, because it's just right back where you were. Some of the more advanced techniques. It doesn't make a lot of sense to jump through these, but it's part of the work. To get it all done in martial way, you gotta combine everything with everything. So I'm just gonna do a jumping 3/4 turn because they're tough. They're kind of cool. Jumping 3/4 turn and back. Jumping 3/4 turn. And then, without counting, more like the boxing footwork, some standard circling. And you tend to work around a circle instead of keeping the foot as still as I was, or working around the box like I was kind of working around the box with the foot. So here I go. I'm going to work the circling work. It's all the same basic stuff I was just teaching, except you're doing more circling. So if you notice the footwork or try to pay attention to the footwork I was just doing, I was tending to kind of work a box. And the circling, I'll show that in 2 steps because it's more natural with the circle. You tend to work a circle around instead of a box around. I like to throw jabs while I do it. So here you are or here I am in right lead stance. Throwing a jab. Then you start your footwork and you circle around. Some circling boxing footwork. And then what most boxers don't do is pretty rare. You can throw somebody off pretty fast, but just circling circle the other way. I haven't met too many people that seem to train for this. And then there's the switch stance. Most boxers don't switch stance much. They'll do it when they get caught in it. But then, switch stance, circle around with the punches. And then you switch direction. See that much? People aren't that used to it. And they don't work through all the possibilities. So there's some circling footwork. I'll show some turning. I'll show a turning punch. So you start combining the footwork with the punches. It's pretty nice to throw a hook while you're doing one of these turn movements. So here's this is 90. I was getting it wrong calling it 45. So here's a 90-degree turn towards the motion, with the motion of the hook. If you watch these, it's a really easy way to knock a boxer down. It's not necessarily something that knocks them out or knocks them out of their balance in their head. It's just something that kind of hits the head so you can throw them down by the head. So here is a circling 45-degree hook. Pretty nice. Never had to use it. It's kind of out of Aikido, so I think of mixing it with Aikido, where I'll think about catching a hook, like someone's doing that one. So you can catch the hook in a circle, like you're in Aikido. Catch the hook, circle. I like to think about throwing a hook with it, like I'm boxing. Catch the hook and circle with it, so you can take the power out of it. Then you throw the hook, like you're going to knock them to the ground with it. And I rotated about 180 degrees on that one. It's more of the natural Aikido stuff. So, it's talking about not working through too many arts. I'm talking about Aikido. Here's a basic Aikido 180. Basic Aikido 180 is about turning like a gate. Opening like a door. Letting the power go through you. They generally talk about getting a wrist grab. Someone grabs your wrist and tries to push it into you. So instead of letting them push it into you, you just turn and let it through. Some basic footwork of martial way.